So we are gonna start talking about The Last of Us. Obvious spoilers. I want to maybe give a spoiler tag for the show, but also the part 2 of the game. I just don't want, I don't want to accidentally spoil someone to the game if they haven't finished the second part. But yeah, we go. Where the hell's my camera at?
Monday streams carry me through the week like Joel carries Ellie from the hospital.
Bro, way too soon. Literally way too soon. Okay, so we had the finale last night. The finale of season 1 of The Last of Us, which feels like a lot. Feels like a lot of feelings. Because on one hand, or so has been emotionally intense for a lot of us. 9 weeks straight of it was like, it was heavy, it was a lot. But on the other side of it, it's like, it's over now. Which you're left with the feeling of, wow, it's already gone. It was so special, and then it went so fast. And so yeah, here we are at the end. Episode was titled Look for the Light. So we start off, they gave us a cold open of Ellie being born. Ellie spawning in to the world via her mom, Anna, who is played by Ashley Johnson, who plays Ellie in the game. Casting? Nothing different than the rest of the series, just chef's kiss, beautiful. Ashley killed it. This is kind of one of the opening shots. It starts with Ashley hella pregnant, running through the forest, getting chased by something or someone. And this reminded me of something. It just looked a little familiar to me. Am I crazy? I don't know. I kind of feel like this parallel thing that they do is common with the beginning and the end of things. So this is the very fucking beginning. This is Ellie's spawn point. And then this is towards the end of the story that we get with Ellie. Again, I'll make some observations as I always do, and I don't think they're wrong or right really most of the time. I think they're just kind of like coming from my brain. But I saw this and I was like, wow, something about the disgusting old wood panels on the wall really just looks the same. Anyway, appreciation post for Ashley Johnson. What a performance. All the way around. It was wild having their characters technically come face to face and hearing her talk and her struggle noises that she was making was like watching someone play the game, because she has such a distinct voice. And if you've played the game, you know what Ellie sounds like, and that was Ellie. But it wasn't. It was Anna. It was Ellie's mom. It was really cool. It was a really cool full circle thing to cast her as the mother. And so we start off in this cold open of this birth scene, this fight scene / birth scene. And it's so intense. And we get to, let me actually go out of order here. We get to experience the 5 stages of grief in 1 second with Anna. She's fearful and running away from something. Then she's battling for her life. And then she's realizing she gave birth. And then she's observing the birth of her child and the beauty that is. And then she's mourning the time that she doesn't get to spend with her child because she was bitten. And it all happens in the span of literally 5 seconds. It was wild. It was so intense. I don't even want to say 5 stages of grief. It was the 25 stages of grief mixed with a bunch of other stuff. And it all happened so fast, and you can kind of see on her face. I mean, she was in this episode for 2 scenes technically, 3 scenes if you're being really technical. She's running through the forest. That's one. The other one is giving birth in the house, and the third one is being discovered in the house by Marlene. And she's just so impactful in that little time that she had. So you have. This is something I picked up on, again, my observation. You have the shot of Kathleen kind of standing between the two windows. And then you have the shot of Anna giving birth underneath this tree on the wall. The composition was too similar to like not pay attention to for me. And Kathleen's a character that we didn't get in the game, but in the series we learn that she's this this woman, this leader who's hell-bent on revenge at all costs. She bases everything she does around righting the wrongs in her life. She's been wronged. And she's gonna hurt whoever it takes to get, in her mind, justice and revenge. That's all of Kathleen's existence, till Kathleen dies, till she perishes. Thought that kind of like, I don't know. Think about Ellie in part 2. Like what's her MO the whole game? So this was during that scene where Ellie was born. Ellie was born while her mother fought off infected, which is a perfectly fitting birth for her. But we also sort of got some lore, potentially. I don't know how much to read into this. Again, I haven't listened to the podcast yet. I don't know all the things that I could possibly know with what's out there, but she gets bit like mid-birth, right? So in theory, one could theorize that the cordyceps made it through the umbilical cord into baby Ellie, just in such a microdose amount before she cuts the cord that Ellie has it in her system in a way that she's immune, right? It's like when you get a vaccine, you get a little bit of the virus, so that when you get the virus is like, oh, hey, no, we don't need to be here. You're already here. So it's like she almost got like a little mini little one-hitter of the cordyceps on day one. Seems like that's kind of the lore that they were giving us, which I thought that was interesting, because like how the fuck else is she immune? So this was interesting. I liked it. It was intense. This jacket is really familiar looking. The first thought I had when I saw baby Ellie wrapped in this jacket, fresh baby Ellie, by the way, was the jacket that Ellie's wearing in Jackson in part 2. But it also, in like an OD green version, looks exactly like Joel's jacket too. So he's got like the tan, kind of like the FDE color. And she's rocking the OD green, but it's like the same jacket, kind of. Did she get wrapped as a baby in the same jacket that she wore as an adult? Because, wow. No shot. Hey, GG's to this baby, though. Performance of a lifetime. This kind of, this man had literally one single job and couldn't figure out how to do it. Marlene's got to fucking do everything, I guess. He's just looking so clueless. I'm gonna talk more about Marlene later. I have some stuff to say about Marlene, but damn, Ellie had quite the day one. Yeah, I don't know. One of her guys couldn't figure out how to like cover a baby's ears. Bro did not cover her ears at all. Like, Marlene's got to do everything, I guess. Okay, so something that was very much like kind of in your face in this episode, especially during the beginning, was the idea that in life, trauma doesn't just go away. It follows a person and it changes a person, and it never actually leaves a person. Especially when it's recent, it manifests in a lot of very noticeable ways. A person's ability to just kind of exist is very hard. Their ability to project their normal personality and just kind of be themselves, or as one might think of themselves, is difficult for them. They're kind of just vacant. And I think that a lot of times in TV and movies, especially in TV, episodic TV specifically, you have characters that go through something in one episode. And then the following episode, because it's next Sunday and HBO logo has played again, someone turns a switch and we're moving on. New story, new page of the script. And I appreciated that you didn't get that feeling at all. like for most of this episode, basically all of the scenes of Ellie in this episode, she was traumatized Ellie. She was like really, really struggling to just exist based off of what she had just been through. I mean, that last episode was very, very horrible and intense, and like what she went through in the scene, and you know, coming face to face with the monster that she had to, and coming out alive and not knowing if she was going to make it out alive. And so to me, I think that they made a really good concerted effort to I mean, Bella, once again, act their tail off, like just completely. I'm buying everything that they're selling every single time I see them on screen. But I think this was more a concerted effort from everyone involved to really bring you further into the universe that they're in, and remind you that while it's far-fetched in the sense that it's a zombie apocalypse, like trauma is still trauma, and going through it and processing it and trying to return to your normal self isn't just like flipping a switch, even though it's TV. So I appreciated that. It was difficult to watch her on screen. It was hard because you just felt so bad, and you just wanted to, and you felt it from Joel too. He was like desperately trying to make it right and fix it right, but he couldn't. So yeah, really unbelievable performance, and just really like felt this a lot. It was hard to watch for sure. Fucking Ellie's palette made an appearance, baby. We didn't get like a Ellie can't swim scene, so they brought the palette in for a quick little cameo. Let's go palette. Huge cameo with the palette. Absolutely loved this shot. I mean, what a great stack of palettes, huh? I looked them up on IMDb. I couldn't find a name, but whoever that palette was, I hope they got paid well. They did a great job. 07 to the palette. 07 to the boost mechanic. Let's go. First test, then Ellie with the ladder falling. Let's go, dude. Okay, this is important stuff. This is the details that we need. This was for the gamers. I love this callback to episode 2 when Joel barely knows Ellie, and they just escape that museum scene with the clickers, and Tess is there just grappling with the fact that she's gonna be a goner, and she goes, you can't deny that view. And then when she repeats it, when they're looking out in this episode, she like smiles. It's like, it's this nice little moment, you know? I really liked it. You see kind of like there's a lot to be seen on the face of Joel in this episode. And I think it was, this was Ellie's episode. But you, like, there's just a lot of subtext here. From the very beginning when he's offering her the Chef Boyardee and the boggle and trying to cheer her up and seeing if she's okay, and talking about the guitar, which I wrote in my notes. And even towards the end of the episode, when he's talking about Sarah, and he's like, you know, not to call you not girly, and she's like, no, I'm not girly. And then he's like, yeah, but Sarah had this really beautiful smile. Not that, again, he's like trying to reassure. He's like, not that you don't have a good smile. And he's just really, really dialed into like showing these like micro emotions on his face without saying too much. And when she says, I'll follow you anywhere you go, you see this like light turn on in his eyes, and he just kind of just needed to hear that, because it sort of fulfills his purpose, because he can tell himself what his purpose is over and over and over, and he does, and he lives his life based off of that. But when it was reciprocated by Ellie here, he feels this like, he's like, okay, like I needed that. Like give it to the guy. He needs this. Which leads us into one of the heavier things. All right, well, let's just appreciate some of the visuals here. Most of the visuals I grabbed, there's this slide and then a slide later, which are just, apparently the giraffe was real, by the way. No shot, like I thought it was definitely CGI. But this slide and then the 4 stack of shots that I grabbed for later in the presentation were mainly just like gamer visuals. They were really, really close to the game. I couldn't believe it. I saw a TikTok and it was a real giraffe. I mean, listen, my source is TikTok, so, but I think it is. I think it's real, which is wild because I was literally watching it being like, oh man, it's unfortunate that they had to CGI that giraffe and it was just real. Giraffe's like, am I a joke to you? Am I a fucking joke? I really like this shot when he's chasing Ellie up to the top of this building and it's just all of a sudden it's just red. It was just kind of like a little bit jarring lighting difference. It was cool though. This was one of the most, for me watching this, I gasped. Like I kind of couldn't believe this part. It was just so unexpected, but at the same time it felt so in place, perfectly in place for them to give Joel this this really upsetting lore about what happened to him after Sarah died, right? This man who lost his daughter as the world starts to collapse, what happens to him? Because we don't ever see that. You just get this big fast forward and he's still alive 20 years later. Well, like right after something like that, this was super upsetting. But again, it's like perfectly in place. And so now we know that Joel tried to unalive himself right after Sarah died, which was very, very hard to watch him talk about. And you could see it on Ellie's face that it was hard for her to hear about. Yeah, it was, this was a pretty major decision. I mean, I know it's like, doesn't like alter any of the story or the plot lines or anything, but, he has this scar all season on his head, and the whole time it's there. The few times that it's mentioned, it's like, yeah, I was in a gunfight and the guy missed. But here he's like, I was the guy that missed. And that conversation was really heavy, and it was hard to it was intense. It was hard to hear that conversation, and I thought that they both acted like very powerfully in this scene, and I appreciate this scene a lot. It was hard. Then you have this moment where Ellie says, "Time heals all wounds, I guess," and he says it wasn't time. Could you stop? So yeah, this was this was a really intense moment, but it was this is sort of like the pinnacle of their relationship right here. It's like it's the pinnacle.
Thanks for having such a great community and being such a great streamer. Love the Dink fam.
Yeah, it was really good writing too. Anyway, let's move forward. So he gets bopped on the back of the head after they get ambushed by fireflies walking through that little abandoned medical camp, which, by the way, set decoration killed it because it looks just like the game. He wakes up, he comes to, and he sees blood. You see blood, the camera sees blood, and then it cuts back to him, and then it cuts back to what was blood, and it's now red spray paint. And it was definitely not red spray paint before. It was like this little trick that they did where it was like, okay, you're seeing it from Joel's eyes, and it's blood dripping down this barrel. Where the fuck am I? But I thought it was just as right in your face foreshadowing as it gets. It's like fireflies, dripping blood. Bro's about to fucking go ham. He's about to go ham on the fireflies. And it was right in this moment that he decides that he was gonna cook the whole hospital. When Marlene says, I have no other choice, and he looks up like a feral dog on all fours about to bark. Says, I do. He has like 3 dudes around him with guns on him, and he already fucking knows. He already knows. Let the man cook. Let him cook. Tiny thing, and I might be wrong because I actually didn't rewatch the scene in the game. First of all, 2 observations before I forget. One is, I think every single pivotal, iconic, memorable scene from the game that happens in a cutscene In the series, if they did that scene, it's flipped. Like visually on screen, flipped. So like in the game, he's laying in the bed and on his right, like the whole room is flipped in their sequence, right? Even at the end, when in the parking garage, like all the iconic scenes, they're flipped. Super calculated. The other thing I wanted to note, which again might be off, I didn't double check this, but I don't think Marlene sheds a tear in this scene in the game. I think she sheds a tear in the show, but in the game, I think she's a little bit colder. I think she's a little bit like, this is what has to be done. I'm done with the emotions. Like, get out of here with your, insubordination. But in this scene, you see her cry. You see a little tear drop from Marlene's eye, which matters. That matters to me. You like that Photoshop on the font? Yes, sir. The scene was crazy. This scene was wild. Bro's running around CQBing with a Mini 14 or whatever the hell that gun is. And he runs out of ammo and he just pops the knife out, and man, this was a wild sequence. And I was here for it. I think we were all waiting for Joel to just go absolutely ham. And here it was. They gave us Joel going ham. Yes, it was Ellie's knife because he grabbed it off of the guard who was supposed to give him his pack on the freeway or whatever the hell. This was a wild scene. It was cool. I really liked, my only like critique on this scene, but again, it's like, it was perfect. I loved it. I love in scenes where there's a lot of action with gunfights and close quarter combat, hand-to-hand combat and stuff. I like, and this is me being so spoiled, but I like when there's very few cuts. I like when you get to kind of watch the stunt actors or the actors or both kind of work that choreography out. And I think there were just like a lot of cuts in the scene, which is totally normal for an action sequence. I would have been fine if they let it breathe a little more. But I understand that the kind of theme that they were going for was like, you couldn't even like hear the gunshots at one point because it was like ringing and the music was playing, and then you see his feet with the casings dropping. So it was very dramatic and they did a really good job. So yeah. Then he absolutely disrespects Dr. Jerry Anderson. Literally isn't even looking at him when he toasts him in this surgery room. Literally not even looking. He hits him with a no look. Just the absolute disrespect that he shows. Bro was spamming control on top of Jerry Anderson. Chat, I just want to warn you now, okay? Jump scare warning. I made a meme of this scene, okay? And it came from right here. Yeah, the absolute disrespect here. So let's talk about Joel for a second. He's a protector, he's violent, he's ruthless, he's loyal, he's stubborn. Joel is clouded by pain. He's clouded by trauma, he's clouded by loss, and he is wearing full blinders that prevent him from seeing the weight of his actions outside of his own self-induced purpose for those actions. He has blinders on and he sees what he wants to see and nothing else matters. He doesn't see anything else outside, right? So he acts out of fear, which is normal, right? A lot of people act out of fear in this world, in this show. Where are you, little egg? Little egg roll. He's acting out of fear of losing another person who's relying on him. He can't take it. He can't take it. He just confessed to Ellie that he almost couldn't take it, and he couldn't take it after losing his daughter. And he knows now, based off of his bond with Ellie, that he literally cannot take losing Ellie. He just can't take it. And that's selfish if you think about it. I mean, it's horrible, and you root for him, and you see him protecting someone, and you see him caring for someone. But that's selfish, right? He's incapable of seeing any other way of proceeding, no matter what. He's just got one way, and that's it. That's Joel, right? That's Joel, kind of to a T here. Like, look at that stubborn fucking face. Then you have Marlene. What a performance. But Marlene, even from when Ellie's born, she was there when Ellie's born. She was close with Anna, okay? Marlene is constantly finding herself in situations that are horrible. And no one is there to take care of it but her. She is the one who has to take care of the mess, clean up the mess, make the tough calls, has to be violent sometimes. She has to be a leader. She has to be someone that people can look up to. But she still somehow, through all of this horrible, horrible just loss around her at all times, has a moral compass. She does have a moral compass, right? Because Marlene killed Anna for a reason. She obviously just didn't want to kill her friend. She killed Anna because Anna said, "You need to kill me. I'm turning." And she killed Anna to let Ellie live and have a life. That's what Anna wanted. She said, "I need you to take her to Boston and give her a life. Give her this fucking knife and give her a life. Knife and a life." Right? And she did that. And that gave Ellie a life. And then she tries to kill Ellie, but for even a better reason than she tried to kill Anna when she did kill Anna, which was to allow not just one person to have a life, but to allow all of humanity to have a life, right? Because she believes, the doctors believe, that she sacrificing her essentially is the cure. So she, from the perspective of Joel, which is the perspective of the show and the cameras and the script, she's the bad guy. You're rooting against Marlene for the most part, but she's not bad. She's not evil. She's just the one who has to make the difficult decisions. And she's the one who makes difficult decisions all the way until she says GG's and doesn't ever feel, I don't think, like she gets to really be the good guy. I don't think she ever has the luxury of looking at herself in the mirror and being like, wow, I did some good. Because there's just so much nuance to everything, and there's a lot of complication with every decision, and no one's pure good or pure evil. There's like a whole spectrum. We talked about this in previous episodes. But Marlene isn't selfish. She's not selfish. She's constantly putting herself at the bottom of the priority list, and then she dies for it. And this is the final slide that I grabbed images from the episode on. This was for the gamers too. This was the transition from this shot to the car shot. I felt like I was playing the game again. And then you have this last confrontation. And this scene was perfect because they kept it exactly the same all the way down to when the music starts to play. And the cadence of her saying, okay, just so good. It was so good. Again, I will say though, this was Ellie's episode. This was Bella's episode. Like, I got full body chills when it cut to black and the music started playing, because that's how the game ends. And I got to relive it. We all got to relive it in a whole new way. So from the beginning of this episode to the very last shot, it was gripping. It was perfect. It felt like such respect was given to the game. Oh, fuck, this misalignment here. That's fucked up. They gave so much respect to the game. It's been made clear at this point how much Craig Mazin respects the game and wants to do right by the game and the gamers. So now we have some memes, so we can all take a deep breath, okay? Dry our tears. I have a few TikToks and a meme. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I made this up from scratch, okay? This is a decent meme.
Right, so 3, 2, 1, and scammer gets scammed, buddy. That's what you get.
I wouldn't pick Cocomelon over Baby Shark, but I did it for chat because I kind of feel like you would, chat. That was for you. That was for you.
We go to the gay club, and who do I see as soon as I get in the door? Abby Lee Miller in her wheelchair.
Okay, that's Wendy Williams, right? Why the fuck is there a sound clip of that woman saying literally everything in the English language? And why is it always on my For You page? Anyway, if you didn't catch it, one of the nurses was Laura Bailey, who acted as Abby in the Last of Us Part 2. My For You page is so strange. You want to know how well I know my For You page? I finished my presentation, and I'm like, okay, I need to get a TikTok or two. And I know that all I need is 5 minutes, real time. And I log on, I scroll maybe 20 times, and I come up with 6 TikToks from The Last of Us. I like that one because it kind of coincides with... Also, if that upset you, I'm sorry. It's not my fault.
I'm sorry.
What you say? Oh, that you only meant well.
Okay, that was an old meme. Okay, and it seems like chat gets it. It gets worse. These get worse. Okay, so I think the next one potentially, and then there's a screenshot of a tweet that Mitchell sent me that I think I should probably show for science. I don't know what kind of science. I think the next one I had to screen record because it wasn't downloadable on TikTok, which what the hell is that about? Make your videos downloadable. All right, if you're making that fire content, we should be able to like keep it on our phones for eternity. Yep, it's this one.
Stop! Stop!
Look, he got me!
Look, it's me! It's me! It's me! Look! It's me!
He tried to...
Oh, baby girl. Does Joel have suckable toes? Let's hypothetically, you're saved by cynical...
Oh God, why is this TikTok so matter of fact? Like, why is this man reading that script for that TikTok? Like he's just talking about okay. I didn't think this up. This is not my video. It was just simply on my For You page. In fact, chat, this should serve as a mirror to you as well. Not just me, okay? No.
I love you.
How did you get in here?
I'm just gonna sit here and say I love you and say hi and slay.
I won't let you take her.
Yas.
Oh God. Man, it's too easy. And listen, I could have come up with 20 more if I wanted. I really could have. I had the ability to. I just, time wasn't on my side. I was kind of rushed to finish this presentation a little bit. So that's gonna be the last one. Listen, I think it's important that we have balance here.
Can't
okay,
wait for Abby to step on us in season 2, Dinky. Yes.
I missed the recap, but Ashley
Me
Johnson's...
too. But I think it's important that we have balance because if we're gonna sit here and just bawl every week, we have to, we bawl, but then we also have to laugh.
But does Joel have suckable toes? What did the rest
No
of the
comment.
TikTok
No
say?
comment. No comment. I don't know. I didn't watch it. I just watched a TikTok that had that part of a TikTok in their TikTok. So that is the last presentation of season 1 for The Last of Us on HBO. Thank you for watching. I appreciate the constant involvement and participation y'all have shown on these Monday recaps. They've been really fun for me.
Saw a comment on a TikTok that said Pedro is Julian coded, and I have to agree. LOL.
Julian coded? We're coded the same. Everybody gets an A+. It was pass fail. Appreciate y'all very much. We have created, many of you already know this, we've created a Discord channel called Last of Us Memes, I think it's called, or Last of Us Meme Review. Yeah, TLOU memes. So if you have Last of Us memes and you would like to put potential memes that I can watch for a meme review Last of Us version, pop them in there. I'll give you about one more week and then I'm gonna record next week. I haven't decided if I'm gonna record on stream or if I'm gonna record off stream, but we'll do a meme review just for The Last of Us because there's plenty of memes out there, plenty of them. You all have officially gotten your diplomas from Last of Us University. Everybody, congrats. I love school. Thank you. You're welcome. I threw up. May I go home? You can do whatever you want. Okay, class is over.